Yeah, couple of key points that I want to go over. When you kick that leg up and around, do not get lazy with the pushing hand or the pulling hand, or pushing hand, pulling hand. Kick your leg as high as you can, because again, you're probably going to do this on someone who's taller than you. So if I'm here already and I just kind of half-ass this leg, he's going to, yes, try to stay sticky with that leg, he's going to follow me, right? So let's give myself a best chance of success as possible. If I pull this leg, yeah, see how it reduces his ability to follow me, right? And also, if I bring my leg up nice and high, it reduces his ability to follow me. And then I can just enter that in. But let's say our opponent crosses their legs. They know we're going to go for this technique, so they cross their legs. Exactly. So, let me get into this. So I tried to pass, I didn't get it, I got caught in the knee shield, I'm here. Whether he puts on the cross before I start the kickback or after, it doesn't matter. The same principles apply. Both hands push now. Or sorry, both hands pull. Both hands pull now. I'm not going to do this technique until his knee line clears my hip line. Okay? So if we're still neutral here, I'm not going to do it. If I get here, now's where I'm going to go. Okay? So, again, back to here. He crossed his leg. I tried the first technique. Didn't work. I immediately go to my second technique. I pull my hands and I push my knee through here. Now his knee's past my hip line. I'm going to slide my right knee to the floor as I start looking for that right underhook here to keep his back flat. If he gets the underhook on me, he's taking my back. Okay? So please, please, please make sure he stays flat to the ground. With the gi, you can kind of cheat a little bit and do one of these, because now I can still have him flat without the underhook. Okay? But because we're going to do this no gi as well, I want you to keep the underhook here. The opposite hand is going to take his tricep and pull it towards you here. Because if I don't, what's he going to do? He's going to post, yeah, he's going to post, or if he hooks, that's even better for me. But he's going to post on my leg or my hip or something, right? So you just start pushing on something. Yeah, so now he can't slide through, right? So I gather his arm and I pull it towards me. No more post. From here, I continue to slide my knee through. Once it's through, I don't just go to side control. I back into him to clear his hips. And now I take side control. Okay, let's look at that again real slow. I tried the long pass. I didn't get it. I ran into the knee shield. Cool. I center him back up. I go for the first technique, but he crosses his ankles. Now both hands pull as I shoot my knee through. As soon as it clears, I slide it to the floor and get this underhook here. Okay? If he's not posting, great. But if he is posting, I'm going to collect his arm, pull it towards me. From here, my hips and my knee slide through. I'm pointing my foot, right? So he can't hold on to my foot. From here, Dave's probably going to follow. Gabe's probably going to follow me. And yeah, exactly. He's going to try and get back to half guard. So if I just turn to side control here, yeah, it's going to be real tough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back into him, back into him, back into him, back into him. Now he's flat. Now I turn to side control. That one little trick is relatively new to me. I really like it. Get your opponent's hips flat before you take side control, so they have a harder time following up into you. Any questions? Needs it? No, I'll figure it out. Good. All right. On three. 1, 2, 3. Go. Same thing. I got caught in the knee shield. Let's go over a third option. Now keep in mind that all of these, this is one big system. They all work together. Okay. So pulling this side, pushing this side because I'm going to my left, but I couldn't clear his legs. I tried to crash my weight. I got caught in the knee shield. Cool. Instead of centering up with him, this cross your legs for me. So like I can't back out. I'm pretty much stuck here, right? Instead of centering up for him and going over the first option where we kick up and around, the second option that we kick through, not that there's anything wrong with that, which is going to go over third option, go to our leg pummeling system. Okay. From here, your hands could be anywhere where they want. They're probably still going to be on the inside of your opponent's knee. I'm going to walk to my right just like I did before, but instead of stopping center, I'm going to get him all the way to his left side. He's on his right side right now. He's going to be in the same position on his opposite side. When you're doing this, make sure your steps are short. Don't trip over your own feet. I've done that before. It's embarrassing. Okay? So again, I'm going to crab walk to my right as I get him all the way to the other side here. Everybody with me so far? Go. My right knee's going to pin the ground here. Now obviously he's not going to be here. He's going to be like posting and pushing. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go to my leg pummeling system from here. My hands are going to go above his head. Here. And I'm going to get heavy on my hands and light on my feet. I'm going to take my left ankle, come around, hook his right ankle. Right? If you can't see what I'm doing, make sure you get in a position where you can, right? So again, heavy on my hands, my foot comes around, hooks his ankle, and I clear his knee line so I can get to mount here. Okay? Let's look at that again, and then we're gonna look at it, what it looks like under resistance. From here, pulling with this side, pushing with this. Again, same thing we did last week, except I get caught in the knee shield here. Okay? Instead of going center, I'm gonna go all the way to his left, my right. Here, and now I get my right knee on the floor. Okay? He's gonna try and square back up into you. That's just like, yeah, exactly, that's his left, right? The more pressure I put down on him, the more resistance he's gonna give me. That's fine, okay? So give me like 20% resistance. Yeah, he's here, he's trying to square this knee back up, right? So I go over him here, use my foot to clear his leg, and then get to mount here. Any questions? Okay, your ankle is gonna catch his ankle and flatten him out. Dude, this is one of those rare occasions where you're not gonna be heavy on your legs. I want you heavy on your hands and light on your feet. Ironically, the heavier you are on your legs, the better your opponent can manipulate you. Okay? Be a ghost with the legs, be heavy on the hands. You'll feel it once you're on bottom. Go. All right, let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. Go.
So here, got Ernest on top, DJ on the bottom. Look like he's working the knee pass, or the knee cut, tight passing. Squares back up. DJ's doing a good job having his ankles crossed and blocking his knee from going forward. So Ernest is trying to opt for the float pass and get DJ on his left side. Goes back to the knee cut. DJ gets an underhook. Okay, now Ernest has addressed the underhook. His body is past DJ's hip line and knee line. Should be relatively smooth sailing here for the knee cut pass. I would like to see Ernest addressing that DJ's right hand that's on his leg right now. So Ernest should take his left hand. Yeah, there we go. Strips the post and uses his left foot to get his right out into side control. Very good. They're going about like 20-30% resistance right now, I think. Gets back to center. Oh, high steps over with the other leg. Let's see what went wrong. That was pretty good. So he squares DJ up. He high steps his left leg over. I think that's a good idea. Okay, so he didn't control. So look at Ernest's right hand. It was not in the position it needed to be. So he opted to put his right hand on DJ's upper body, meaning that there was nothing preventing DJ's left knee from touching his chest, meaning it becomes a shield once you try and step past it. Had he had his right hand on DJ's left knee, might have been a different story. Now he attempted the same thing again there. Okay, now he's going to the float pass. Got to get his ankle inside. Oh, so now he's going to get his back taken. So that's the danger of doing the float pass incorrectly, is where, again, if your opponent can get outside of your head or your arms, in which case he does here, and he's on his side. So yeah, that's a losing proposition for Ernest. Got Denise on top and Britt on the bottom here. Goes for the knee cut. Doesn't work. Centers up. Okay, takes him all the way to the other side. There we go. A little bit more resistance would be nice on this drill. I think they're just going through the motions here, though. Oh, that was good. Kick over. Knee cut through. Doesn't happen. Centers back up. Through. Addresses the underhook and addresses the post. Very good. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, I think she's trying to get Britt's right arm, yeah, into the holstered position here. Here, doesn't happen. Centers back up. I very much like that. Again, this is more like, this is not even drilling, like the level of resistance they're going at, which again, nothing wrong. I asked for light resistance, but I think they're just kind of going through the motions on this one, going through the different scenarios. Good. Underhook, and she's got to address the post, which she does. Now we got DJ on top and Ernest on the bottom here. DJ's running the pass, runs into the knee shield, centers back up, gets that knee cut. Ernest puts his knee shield back through. DJ centers back up, goes to the other side. So let's see if he could use his left ankle to float and leg pummel. Doesn't get it. Centers back up, goes back to the knee shield. Looks like he's trying to get that knee cut, but Ernest is doing a good job with his left knee. Now he gets that knee cut, addresses the underhook. Kind of addresses the post. Okay, not a bad position. So DJ did something very smart. He couldn't get to Ernest's elbow, but he managed to get his wrist. That's preventing Ernest from turning as far as he can, because DJ's obviously pushing his hand this way because his goal is to get Ernest back flat on his mat, back flat onto the mat. Very smart by DJ, making the best out of a bad situation. Ernest is, even though he's not flat on his back right now, he's wasting a lot of energy turning towards DJ. Let's see how it works out. I thought he was going for the crossface. Okay, just uses that to get right back to a flat back position, which is great. Goes to the knee cut, doesn't work. Now he steps over. Okay, that was very good. Let's look at that again because it almost didn't work out. Take note of where DJ's left hand is. It's going to be on Ernest's right knee. Right knee? Yeah, right knee. So when he I didn't go back far enough. So here, yep. Take note of DJ's left hand here. It's going to stay on Ernest's right knee. So it gives him a fighting chance to get past his knee line. Here, boom. Now we're struggling for the knee line. Now he lets go of the Ernest's knee because he's safely past the knee line. And now his left hand becomes a crossface here to get Ernest back flat to the mat. He does... Actually, no. If I had to choose between a crossface from this position and addressing the post in this position, I would keep the crossface, and then I would just make my be really annoying with this knee, like taking it up and down and basically trying to get that post off of me. But really, what's important here is getting Ernest flat on his back here, because if Ernest gets flat on his back here, this post is going to be virtually useless. Opts for front headlock. He might spin to the back here. Or I think time just runs out. Got Bob on top and Britt on the bottom here. Bob goes to step around. I think they're just going through the motions again. I think I told something Bob. I forget what it was. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's look at the difference between why it worked and why it didn't. So the first time here, he's caught. He's pushing. He's doing everything right. He's pushing his left hand on Britt's right knee so he could get his leg up and over. Let's see why it failed. She gets sticky with that leg. Tries it again. Oh, okay. He just simply tried it again. He tricked Britt with the timing. Britt doing a good job keeping her knees to her chest though. So if I was as tall as Bob here, Britt's going to have a hard time following my leg just because I literally have more leg than she does. From here, he's in a good position. I would continue to push this knee this way or maybe even down to the ground, even though his hand is in an ideal position to get there. And I would literally like step my leg up and over just because Britt's going to have a really hard time following my length of leg. Oh, and he does. Very good. So again, two very important things you're going to take with you throughout your jiu-jitsu career. Fight within your personality and fight within your body type. If you're taller than your opponent, fight taller than your opponent. If you're shorter than your opponent, fight shorter than your opponent. Don't get me wrong, there are great lessons to be learned, kind of mixing your game outside of your personality / physicality. But generally speaking, you're going to come across the same problems that anyone else would when you're coming across a shorter, taller, stronger, weaker, faster, slower, whatever opponent. So look at those athletes whose game you admire that are also in your weight class would be my advice. Sorry, I think I just got Britt on top and DJ on the bottom here. Gets to the pattern. Yep. Goes. Oh, okay. So when you take your opponent to the other side, be very careful that you don't end up tripping over your own leg here. Had she continued, she probably would have fallen to her right. Centers back up. Tries to go backwards. Doesn't work. It's like DJ is, okay, DJ's had a grip on her ankle. You got to address that first. If your opponent has a grip on your ankle like DJ had a second ago, you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna be able to go forward. You're not gonna be able to go backwards. You might be able to get the floating pass if you could get your opponent on the other side. I would address that grip first. It's a very powerful grip. It doesn't cost much to hold on to it. And yet it stalls your game immensely. So please address that grip first. She fails on the knee cut. She's back in the knee shield. Let's see how she addresses this because DJ has an underhook right now. Centers back up. Very smart. Goes to a knee cut again. Can she beat that knee? I wouldn't recommend it just because DJ's so much taller than her. Might work. She probably could have kicked back from right there, from the transition. I forget what I said. I think I said that, and then she was like, "Oh, that would have been a great idea." Here goes all the way to the other side, but again, DJ gets that grip on that ankle. So please, anytime your opponent, if you're in the open guard and your opponent, oh, where's my clicker? If your opponent has a grip on your ankle here, you ain't going nowhere. Generally speaking, obviously there's leg pulling and stuff you can do, but you're very, very limited, and it's a decent position. I don't want to say decent position, but it's a very good grip for them to have because of the things I mentioned earlier. Very low energy to maintain, and it stalls your offense immensely, and they could build a game around it. It's kind of like the lasso guard grip of Nogi. That was a horrible example. Please don't quote me. So he's trying to get the float pass. There we go. That's one thing you can do. Okay, big problem here. Again, you have to keep your opponent framed within your hands. DJ's head is outside here. If he gets this underhook, he can make a play for the back. Yep, exactly. Got Ernest on top and Bob on the bottom here. Let's see how they run it. Get to the pattern. This might be like close to 100% resistance. Oh, I took Ernest misdirection away from him. I said I didn't want him using it this week. Good. He pinches the knees together and it looks like he's going to pass. Yeah, very good. No complaints here. Reset and they run it back. Oh, maybe I didn't take his misdirection away from him. That was very good. Good runs into Bob's knee shield. He's doing a very good job pinning the legs to the ground. Yeah. Good option. Very good. Got Britt on top and Ernest on the bottom here. Gets to the center. Goes all the way over. Almost falls. Got to keep her hands on the ground on that one. Tries a knee cut. Doesn't work. Probably centers back up. Yep, she's going to center back up. Her right foot should be on the ground. Trying to get around it. Again, she's got to dress that grip on her ankle. Ernest using the size advantage. She might try and run the knee shield here. It's risky. I don't like it. It's too easy for your opponent to defend and is a big risk of getting your back taken. She's very good at it. I will give her that. She's very good at it, so I don't want to take it away from her. But I do want to have her to have other options. Okay, decent leg pummeling position here. I would like to see Ernest flat on his back. She might be able to get it here. I would like to also see her left arm. I'd like to see it on the mat here for this specific example. She might be hugging his head because he's got like a frame that I can't see on the other side. She's about to lose her balance to her right. Oh, that's exactly what happened. It's kind of threw her off. Again, size advantage comes into play. Whoever told you that size doesn't matter has never fought before. So now we got Ernest on the top and Britt on the bottom here. Britt doing a good job framing, staying with Ernest. Oh, very good. Gets a half guard. Ernest has to swim his other leg in. He's in danger of losing this position. So I don't think Britt knows this, but if I were her in this position, I would underhook that left arm through Ernest's leg here and literally just come out the back door in the in like a deep half guard sweep. Because Ernest's weight right now is mostly on his hands and his hip here. There's nothing really keeping me there, so I could probably like swing out the back door. But again, I don't think she knows that yet. Maybe she could kind of swing out the back door here in a triangle, but it might work. There we go. Ernest gets the grip again, runs it. Yeah, Britt did a good job. Let's see what happened there. Britt did a good job staying sticky with that foot. Ernest tried to use his length, but he just didn't quite have enough length, so you could see Britt's right foot is sticky to Ernest's right leg. She's going to follow him all the way around, and Ernest is inexplicably, for some reason, on his butt. He should not be. I think I tell them something here. I forget exactly what. Gets to the knee shield. Let's see how he addresses it. Centers back up. Looks like he's going for the leg pummel. Very good. If he could get his, but again, he's got, yeah, I don't like how Britt is on her side so much. Again, you want your opponent flat on their back. Obviously, your opponent doesn't want to be flat on the back. I don't think Ernest is in a bad position here because Brittany doesn't really have many frames that she could work off of right now. So he'll probably get this pass, even if they were the same weight, probably get the pass. But I'm worried that there's a scramble situation that he wouldn't be able to control once he does get that foot out. So we got Dan on top and Kirk on the bottom here. You're running the drill. Kirk giving lots of resistance. Not lots, but decent resistance. Dan tries to high step out, almost gets caught there. Now he's going into his loose passing. Back to the tight pass. He's got to clear that knee, though. Yep, smartly resets. Goes through, centers back up, goes all the way to the other side. Hands on the mat, hopefully. Good. Floats, gets the leg pummel. Very good. Like Dan's like third class or something like that, maybe? Maybe a little bit more. Maybe second week. Centers back up. Okay, now, no, Kirk's knee is still through, and he's framing. So until he could beat that knee at the very least, it's going to be a risky proposition. Good. Very smart. Centers back up. I forget what I told him. Knee cuts through. Resets. Goes to the other side. Oh, just high steps out. Yep. I don't think he was here last week for the North-South series. But overall, not bad. Got Chris on top and Denise on the bottom here. Goes for the drill. Tries to kick over, doesn't work. Exits out. Goes the other side. And kicks over. Good. I very much like what his right hand was doing. Completely controlling Denise's right knee. Sorry, that's Chris's left hand. Denise's right knee. He's taller than her, so he's going to be able to get that kick over here. Right to knee on belly. Keeping that hip line open with his hand. You run it back. Goes to a knee cut, doesn't get it. Resets. Denise has both legs in now. Okay, takes one out. Goes to the other side. Trying to square her back up. Does the kick over, doesn't work. Tries to go knee through. He might be able to get it. Okay, let me stop right here. I normally wouldn't recommend that he go for the knee cut here, but he's so tall relative to Denise that even though she has her knee all the way in as far as she can, it's not really in front of Chris. It's not very effective. Now, what Chris has to address here is the fact that he doesn't have this underhook, and I don't know if he has control of Denise's right arm on the other side. At the very least, he has to address that underhook. I think I tell him as much. Oh, there we go. Now he's got that underhook. Now his left hand has to control the far post, and because he's taller, he's getting away with smearing that knee, and he backs up into her to clear the hips. So again, there are times where you want to make a run for it, even though your opponent has the knee shield in. This would be one of those cases. We got Denise on top and Chris on the bottom. So running that drill. So Denise is a lot smaller than Chris, so she's going to have to mix up her approach. She probably can't get away with the things that Chris did the last round, the kick over and the knee slide, even though his opponent's knee shield was still in. Right now, she's just trying to get to the positions that we drilled this week. Here. Doing pretty good with the leg pummel. Her body could be a little bit more forward. Oh, sorry about that. Her body could be, I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Her body could be a little bit more forward relative to her opponent just to get her legs a little bit easier access to Chris's legs. She made that mistake the first time. She's in a little bit better position now. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, that was pretty good. Let's look at it. Let's look at what happened there. So she's going for the leg pummel. Doesn't get it. Gets stuck on Chris's top knee, but she notices that Chris's hips are cocked to the left, our right. So she decides to take this leg and does a kick over from here. Pretty good. Would not have thought of that myself. I don't know what I was explaining here. I really got to keep the sound on just so I can review what was being said in between the rounds. Let me fast forward a little bit. Run it back. So she's shorter, so getting around that leg is going to be a little bit of a taller task, both literally and figuratively. Hey, pretty good. She just hit him with a misdirection, had both hands on his knees. So she goes to the left, doesn't work. Both hands on his knees, head pushes to the left, hops to the right, and takes side control. A little bit concerned that she doesn't have an underhook on this side. Got Ernest on the top and Denise on the bottom here, running the drill. Ernest is pretty good with the misdirections. I took it away from him for this case because I don't want him working what he's good at, obviously. Goes for a float pass, doesn't get it. He's got significantly taller legs, so it's going to be easier for him to get around her guard, just like that. Denise kind of puts a knee shield in, but Ernest manages to get hip to hip. Here, he runs the knee. Looks like he's fighting for the underhook here. Centers back up, goes around. That was beautiful. Now, granted, he is fighting someone like significantly smaller than him. In terms of technique, that was pretty good. Denise doing a good job keeping her frames in. Okay, so when Ernest went for that, he's got to keep his knees to his chest when he goes for that float pass. So he puts his hands on the mat here. His knees need to come. Where's my little marker? His knees need to come up, and he starts needing to load his weight onto his hands a little bit further. Yeah, he's kind of, look where his hands are. Look how spread apart they are from the feet. His weight's kind of evenly spread here. Again, load more towards your head if possible. Yeah, or else that happens. Denise on the top and Ernest on bottom. Pretty good. Hands are on the ground. Pretty good. Got to get over that leg. I would have stuck with the float pass on that one. So she kind of started with the leg pummel here. Yep. I would have stuck with this. Her right leg is trapped, but I would have committed maybe a little bit more weight on the hands. It looks okay now, but I really would have used that left foot to pummel Ernest's right shin out and get her right leg out. She switches to trying to do like a high step over, but like I said, Ernest is significantly taller than her, so that gives him more leg to work with. If Ernest's foot ended here, if they were like evenly matched lengthwise, she would have gone over by now already. But I mean, they're not. You're not going to fight everyone who's shorter than you. So she runs out of a leg, for lack of a better word. Ernest still has a leg, and he's able to follow. I would have stuck with the definitely with the leg pummel. Ernest also has 2 frames on this arm. Not a bad situation, but since she's kind of still in the leg pummel series already, she's got to make sure that Ernest's head stays in between her hands here. Now she should be switching to something else. There we go. She tries to get chest on chest, but Ernest has a frame in. Now, I don't know if you saw that, she's actually using her foot to get a leg pummel from here. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get because Ernest is going to be on his side. Okay, now she's in a good position to pass. Her hips are floating up a little bit high, though. Ernest doing a good job keeping that frame in front of her head. She's got to get chest to chest and beat that far knee. I can't tell where Ernest's knee. Oh, okay, so Ernest definitely has his knee in play. Has to reset the situation. No shame in that. Forces the knee. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. So when you go to that switch, make sure your leading foot, in this case her right foot, is in a good based position, or else we're going to see what happens here. She literally ends up tripping over herself. Boom. Here. And that's just 2 free points for your opponent, and you become the laughing stock of the tournament. Forget what I'm telling her here. I think I'm just telling her to keep her base wide, like lead with the foot. There we go. That was good. That was a good knee cut. That was beautiful. Let's look at that again. So here, she's trying to straighten out. Boom. So, Ernest decides to go for probably like a coyote half guard situation where you torque the ankle and you torque the knee. He is threatening with an underhook here, but Denise just barely managed to pass his knee here. And that's crucial because once your leg is past their knee line, you can go for the knee cut, the knee slide. You do have to take care of the upper body. In this case, she didn't have an underhook, but she was one step ahead of the game, so she managed to come out to a front headlock position here. Pretty good. She went for a suitcase choke later. I don't think she got it.